Welcome to a brand new episode of the Oracles. My name is Manelisi, and I am with the beautiful, the superstar Oracle, Zima Zibu. We've been away. Okay, so we're supposed to be here last week, but we weren't here last week. But Zia, you weren't able to join us with the conversation that I had
Yeah.
with Oracle. But yeah, anyway, you're here today, and that is all that matters. How are you, Z?
Good evening, Manelisi. I'm good, man. I'm okay. It's been a while.
Yeah,
It's been a while,
yeah, it's
but
been a
I'm
very,
all
very
good.
long while. Been a
I'm
very
glad I'm
long
back.
while. Yeah, I'm glad you're back as well, and it's very, very good to see you. So, today, actually, we have quite a lot to cover. We've been away for so long that the whole Kendrick and beef, or Kendrick and Drake battle happened, and we weren't here to talk about that. The the activations for Back to the City have already started, and I think they started last week, so we are just in time for that. The daily situation came back again, and there's also some music that has been released. So we have a lot to cover. We have a lot to talk about. I don't know where
We
you want
do.
to start, or if I should just kick us off.
You can kick us off, man. There's a lot to get through, and I can from what we're going to talk about. I can already tell that my emotions are going to be all over the place,
Yeah,
but we'll try and keep it in check. We'll try and keep it
yeah.
in check.
All right. So I want us to get like the bad stuff out, as we always do. First, we get the
Yeah.
bad stuff out of the way, and then we get to the good stuff. So I'll
Yeah.
starting with the Diddy situation. So recently, I think it was last week Friday, where
Yeah.
CNN released a video of Diddy and Cassie at a hotel. So Cassie was at the elevator, waiting for the elevator to come up or to come down from wherever she was, and Diddy came out of the room running after her, and he was in his towel.
That's how.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, in a towel. And when he eventually got to Cassie, as we see in the video, he just beat her. Threw in, I don't know if it was slaps or punches. And she was just lying on the floor at some point, and he tried to drag her back into the room. So it was just a crazy, crazy situation. And this comes like months after Lil Rod came out with that lawsuit that happened. After the lawsuit thing happened, the police raided Diddy's house. I suppose there's some evidence that they were able to get from that. So yeah, so there was that the video that came out last week, and crazy enough is that in December, I think, Diddy released a statement, a very short statement, saying that he knows nothing about anything, basically, that denying any sort of abuse that he committed against Cassie and all of that. And now this video right now comes out. But just to also bring everything back together, it's crazy that I think one would say that there's probably like a ploy, or rather something at play, to remind Diddy and his kids that there's actual evidence of whatever Diddy's accused of. Because I don't know if you heard the diss track that one of Diddy's sons released last week. It was made by one of his sons, King Combs, I think. I think his actual name is Christopher, if I'm not mistaken. So he released a diss track towards 50 Cent, right, for some reason. And I suppose he really did release that diss track in defense of his father. And it just came out of nowhere, because I don't think Diddy, or rather 50 Cent, has publicly said anything about Diddy most recently, or around the time that that track was released. Because we know that 50 Cent doesn't like Diddy, hasn't liked Diddy.
I know he's been tweeting. I saw some tweets. Like I feel like he's just been like, listen, if there's proof, and I'm gonna stick to what's there. It's
Yeah.
not like I'm saying anything that I'm pulling at the back of my like mind or whatever. It's something that's there, and I think right now with 50 is where we all are. Like, why is this man not arrested yet? Because there's so much evidence, and you know, I understand how you say maybe there might be a ploy of some sort, but also it could be a thing of the evidence is getting released now because Diddy is the one who had the evidence. And now
Yeah.
that the raid happened, now the police or the feds rather, they have the evidence in their hands,
It's,
and why not? Because when you look back, that video is over a decade, right? Old. No, almost a decade,
no.
2016.
Yeah. To be,
Almost
yeah.
a decade,
Almost.
right?
Yeah.
Where was it all the time? Diddy had it. And now
Yeah.
that they raided his home after that whole situation with Lil Rod, like, okay, let's release it. And now it begs the question of how many people were on this guy's payroll to keep him safe with everything. Because if you can have a footage from an entire hotel, we know that Diddy doesn't stay at 3 or 4 star hotels. It's proper 5 star hotels. And decisions there, when they're not made by your manager or the supervisor on the floor. It's the big guys, you know. It's the owners of this
Yeah.
hotel. It's board members. Like now, it makes you question how many people were watching this poor girl get abused, and they literally kept mum.
Did nothing. Yeah. Yeah, and you know that like the reason why I say that there might be something at play around this is because in the diss track towards 50 Cent, King said that when the raid happened, the feds did not know that that they actually owned a house next door, and they had moved some of the evidence next door. So to me, it also like how stupid do we have to be to even reveal something like that or to say something like that? Because now there's a lot that is being said just by that one sentence or one line in saying that the feds came, did the raid, but they didn't know that we had moved the evidence to the house next door. Because basically he's saying that his father is guilty of something. Is saying that in their possession they have all this evidence, which could land him in jail, and they were able to move all of that to the house next door. And also, it says that they were expecting the raid to happen, which means that they actually have someone that they are paying off within the police force, within the feds or
Yes.
wherever. Yeah, so they
Yeah.
knew exactly what is going to happen. And just that one line, it says all of that and whatever else that I might have missed. So, and this, it's just like it's just crazy. Like you know, like you said, Gutsi, we're just asking ourselves, Gutsi, how is Diddy still not in prison? How is he still not being charged for anything? How like how many other people watched everything that had happened, especially to Cassie, and they did nothing. They did nothing,
Yeah.
and they said nothing. What about all the other women that we know nothing about? Because in one of the earlier episodes that we talked about Diddy having all these parties and spiking the drinks. Like it separated the drinks. Some of the drinks were for women, the rest of the drinks were for everybody else, and the drinks that are for women that would get spiked, and you can only imagine what happens after that. You know, and we do not know all these women. We do not know about even some of the guys, because I mean there has been evidence of guys also being sexually assaulted at these things, and nobody has actually come forward and said this is what has happened. Yet everyone knows that this is what has happened.
Unfortunately, it's the power of money, because all of these things, like nothing happened under wraps, and I feel like the fact that there's so much evidence against him, it shows that there's so many things he was doing out in public, and he just didn't care because he knew that he had people that he was paying off. He knew that he's never gonna go to prison. Like I saw a video of him yesterday just walking around, like roaming the streets. Like it almost didn't just, like, you could have killed someone, you know? You could have
Yeah.
literally killed Cassie then. And you're just walking around like, yeah, it happened, so what? And I think the more you talk about it and the more you just read about it, it brings up so much anger in a person. It's just like, how vile of a human being are you? Like, the fact that when I look at that video, the fact that he came out running in the towel, to me, it speaks volume because to me, it shows that Cassie was actually saw an opportunity, a window of opportunity to run.
Mm.
Because clearly she couldn't the whole time when they were chilling. The fact that she was able to try and run out when he was maybe in the shower, whatever, like, it speaks to a whole lot more than what he was doing to her in there and how
Yeah.
long he's had her in there. And you know, when you remember how she had that hairstyle back then, that all of us as the honeys did actually, where we shaved the side of our heads off, and now it looked back just like it wasn't by choice,
Yeah.
you know. It wasn't by choice. This girl was abused. Her hair was pulled out, and she didn't have a choice but to cut her hair. And it's a lot because there's so many people around Diddy, around Cassie, who saw what was happening, and they all kept quiet because why were they fearing that their bag is going to get taken from them, or were they fearing that they're going to be killed? Because there's been also incidences rather, where people have gotten car accidents, have disappeared, have, you know, when they try to mention anything with Diddy. So it's like, were they fearing for their lives, or are they more concerned about their bag, or they just chose to, it doesn't
Like,
concern me. Like, what is it?
yeah, like it's a lot. I feel like when you are in such a situation, I mean, you would want to, like under normal circumstances, you would want to be in a position where you are close to someone like Diddy, someone who is as powerful and connected as Diddy, because in your mind you think that everything is normal. This is just like this guy is a business mogul, is a business mogul, and if I get close enough, I might be able to learn something. I might be able
Yeah.
to meet certain people. And once you get there, you find, Gucci, this place is basically Hotel California. You know, it's just a lot of skeletons
Yeah.
that are being hidden here. And once you see the skeletons, you are not allowed to just leave just like that. You know,
That's the thing,
yeah,
yes.
you get pulled into this whole thing. You also become part of these skeletons, and it's not as easy to get out. It's not very easy to get out of this thing. Once you get involved with him, and he takes you to certain places, gets you to meet certain people. It is not just about getting out,
Yeah.
because now your life is also in jeopardy. And I'm not
You're in
saying
it.
this, yeah, you are in it. And I'm not saying this with the intention of defending whoever is in there, because there are people who are in this life with Diddy because because they enjoy it. They enjoy being there. They enjoy the benefits of whatever it is that he's doing. For them, it's an easy lifestyle, and it's also easy money. You know, they don't have to work as hard anymore, because you just have to be there and do whatever it is that they need you to do, and you get paid for that. But also the downside of it is that if you do try to get out and you do try to talk about what's happening, chances are you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
And when you actually go back and think about this, Diddy has been doing all these things for much longer than I've been alive. You know,
Yeah.
like all these things from, like, think the late 80s, early 90s. Already, this guy was having these crazy parties,
A big
doing
deal.
all these crazy things. And it was long before the Notorious B.I.G. He even met the Notorious B.I.G. Already, he was pretty much on track of doing whatever it is that he's doing now. There's been violence around him. There's been people getting killed or getting hurt around him. Long before Bad Boy Records came to be. So it's like his character, Jay, Diddy being Diddy, is not someone that you want to have in your life. It's not someone that you want to be involved with in any way.
Far from it. Far from it. And Now that you mention, when you track back, it's just like this man has been doing this for over 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, clearly, because and I feel like if you get to a point where you're not afraid of doing something in public, you've done a whole lot more in
Oh,
private,
yeah.
and then you know that you can get away with it. So now it makes you wonder how many people has he hurt before
Yeah.
Cassie happened.
And that's the thing. Like, for 30 something years living the same lifestyle or doing the same things, it means that
Yes.
Gutsi, whatever it is that you do, you're not going to get in trouble.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's gotten away with this for so long. And like 30 years is a very long time for you to
It's a
actually
long
think
time.
about what you're doing, to think about the life that you've been living, and to repent from that, to completely change how you live your life, to move away from these things. But he chose to stay. He chose to keep doing all these things. And it says a lot about who he is. And it says a lot also about what he's capable of doing and the people that he has in his pockets. Because this is just blatant. This is just a guy saying, I can do whatever it is that I want, and no one's going
Yeah.
to do anything about it.
Yeah, no, literally, he doesn't even care. Like, he doesn't even care, you know? I was looking at that video, as I said, the video he was walking, taking a walk yesterday, or a couple of days ago, I'm not sure. And I'm just like, the nerve to step outside and you know that the entire world knows what you did. We saw it, we saw the video, and you just don't care. Like, I really feel like the way he's walking, he's not remorseful, he really doesn't care. And I'm sorry, but I hate him. I am sorry, I can't.
No. Yeah, like, and yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. Like, I don't have any positive feelings towards him at this point. And I don't know, like, I don't think there's any punishment that is good enough for what he's done. Honestly speaking, I don't think there's anything
Yeah.
that it can be punished in a way where he can be remorseful for the things that he's done. Yeah, and that's the sad thing, because even someone like him at this point, I don't think he can be rehabilitated into being a positive.
No,
Um, yeah,
there's
don't,
no
I
way.
don't, I don't think he can be rehabilitated at this point.
No, I really feel like you can't. I mean, also with rehabilitation, right? It needs to it needs to work with a remorseful person, right? You need to be remorseful, sure, good to you, sorry, and he's not. He doesn't care. So how do you rehabilitate a person who doesn't care? Damn.
You just can't. Yeah, you just can't. But yeah, that is the Diddy situation, or where it is at this point, and it's only a matter of time to see if anything actually happens. Like, I would actually be surprised if he. I don't know if I should even say this, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. No, let me not say it. Let me rather not say it. But yeah, yeah, but it'll be a surprise to see if it's still around in like the next 2 years or so. But yeah, I feel like the next 2 or so years will be a very interesting time in his life, to see what goes on with him.
I hope that the next 2 years that you're speaking about actually show that money can't always buy you everything.
Yeah,
Because I think that's his power. That's his uppercut, basically. Because he's like, I'm a billionaire, and he's literally a dollar billionaire, and he feels like he can get away with anything. So I really hope the next 2 years that you're speaking about show that he can't. There are some people that you can't buy, no matter
yeah,
how much he's written. And
yeah,
I hope he comes face to face with those people where they're like, I don't care if you threaten me or my family, I'm taking it down. And I really pray and hope for everyone who's been a victim to him, men and women. I really pray and hope that they get justice of some sort.
Yeah, I hope so as well. And I hope that they do find some peace um, around this whole thing. And hopefully they can live normal lives after it.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a lot. It's been heavy.
Yeah, yeah, it really has. And actually, speaking of what money can buy or can't buy, I want us to get into the whole Drake and Kendrick battle that we missed while it was happening a couple of weeks ago. So, just to catch anyone up on anything, or rather around this battle that happened. So this thing started, I suppose, last year. When did First Person Shooter get released? It was last year, right?
Last year, I think it was last year. Yeah,
Yeah,
last year.
yeah, I think it was sometime last year. So Drake released First Person Shooter way featuring Drake. I mean Drake, yeah,
Featuring.
released First Person Shooter featuring J. Cole. Now on that song, they throw some jabs at Kendrick. It was mostly Drake throwing some jabs at Kendrick, and J. Cole being J. Cole, sort of like being in the middle, talking about the big three being made up of Kendrick, himself, and Drake. So, and then this year, Future and Metro Boomin released an album called "We Don't Like You," and I'm assuming that "We Don't Like You" is aimed at Drake, because you know that Metro and Future don't like Drake
Metro can't
anymore.
stand Drake, especially
Yeah,
Metro. Metro
yeah,
can't stand Drake, guys. He's not. Let me tell you, Metro hates Drake.
yeah. At this
Out of
point,
everyone, Metro hates Drake.
the most. Yeah.
He hates him.
Yeah. So on that album, they have a song called "Like That," featuring Kendrick Lamar. Now Kendrick Lamar also throws jabs at Drake and J. Cole, talking about the reference to first person shooter and all of that, which set off a huge battle
Did.
between yeah, it set off a huge battle between Kendrick and Drake. Drake responded, I think, like 17 days, like almost 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks after, like that dropped. He responded with push-ups. Push-ups being a reference to Kendrick being signed to so many people at this moment,
Yeah.
and his split sheet being almost nothing for him because of the money that he has to share
Shame.
with everyone. And then a couple of days later, he released Tailor-Made Freestyle. In Tailor-Made Freestyle, Drake has used AI using Tupac and Snoop's voices, which, in my opinion, was a very, very poor decision. Using Tupac's and Snoop's voices, like a very, very bad decision, because it was very disrespectful towards Tupac. Um, Also being disrespectful to Snoop, more especially to Snoop, because Snoop is still alive. He and you're putting words in his mouth now. And in my opinion, tailor-made freestyle would have still been very, very good without those AI voices. I don't know if you feel that same way.
The thing is, I feel like we're gonna touch on this also going forward with all these songs, right? But
Yeah,
when it comes to a beef or a battle, isn't it all gloves are off?
yeah,
You
it
go
is.
for everything.
It
I
is.
think I tend to look at it like that in a sense because dude, I'm literally coming for everything, and if it means I have to be creative in some way or another, That's what I'm gonna do. That's where I'm gonna come from.
Yeah, it is. But the way I said, the reason why I say it was a very bad decision, especially when it comes to Tupac, is because we know that during the beef between Tupac and Biggie, it wasn't just about Biggie and Tupac at its peak.
Okay.
It wasn't just between Biggie and Tupac anymore, but it was the East Coast versus the West Coast. And the West Coast loves Tupac because Tupac represented everyone, represented California, I guess, as a whole. And having for Drake to do this, it means that he wasn't just disrespecting Tupac alone, but he was
Okay.
disrespecting the whole of the West Coast. And in doing that, it makes it very, very dangerous for him to ever go back to Los Angeles or anywhere in that place because of how highly they think of Tupac. And also being,
Okay.
yeah, also in that sense, Kendrick coming from Compton, being from Compton, obviously being in LA, it means that Drake was saying that Kendrick wouldn't have Tupac's respect had he been alive. And again, that is very disrespectful to everyone in LA, and it's disrespectful to Tupac's legacy as well, because we know of how much he represented LA. We know how much he loved that place and the people from there. So with that, also bearing in mind the whole Tupac and Biggie beef,
Yeah.
it just puts like it for Drake. It puts him in a very difficult position because already even before this whole thing, LA wasn't exactly a safe space for Drake. I don't know if you remember. I think it was 100 where Drake features. I mean, the game
The game.
features. Yeah, the game features Drake. They shot the video in
What a
Compton.
banger of a song. That song.
Yeah, yeah,
Love it.
yeah. It's
Ah,
a
love
banger,
it. Yeah.
and they shot the video
In Compton.
in Compton. Apparently, um, Kendrick knew about that video shoot on that day, and even without let's leave Kendrick out of this. Just them being there shooting this video, apparently there was a whole lot of security. Like there was some security concerns about this whole thing happening over there. Drake was not at ease during this entire time. He wasn't very comfortable, and when he left, I think he left before the video shoot was even done. Apparently, he left very, very quickly because I think he was feeling more and more uncomfortable as time went on, and he felt very unsafe. So that's the kind of place that LA is or Compton is. And now Drake fueling this fire, already being out of place, not belonging to those people, and then disrespecting both Tupac and Snoop's legacies. It put him in a very, very dangerous position. He even sold his house recently, the one that he owned in LA, because I suppose he won't be going back there anymore. It's not a place that is welcome at anymore. So yeah, tailor made freestyle. Lyrically, it was great, and it would have been awesome even without those AI voices. It would have been much better.
A
And
song. A full banger.
yeah, and you can't even find it on social media anymore, or at least on
Yeah.
Drake's social media
Definitely.
pages, or on streaming platforms, because Tupac's estate threatened to sue unless he takes it down. So yeah, that is the earlier case of this whole battle. Now, after Taylor Made Freestyle was released, it took Kendrick, I think, like 19 days or something, where he released Euphoria. Now, when Euphoria came out, things started to get even more
Yeah.
interesting.
And they were
Yeah,
quick now.
yeah, now they were coming very, 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 very
They were
quickly.
quick.
Yeah, now they're coming very, very quickly. So Kendrick released Euphoria, set social media ablaze. Um, that's all that people were talking about that day,
Yeah.
or at least the days after that, because and it was on a Tuesday, by the way, that he released Euphoria, and then on Friday he released 616 in LA. Now 616 in LA is a timestamp, basically,
Yeah.
and is a timestamp that is quite famous with Drake. Drake uses it quite a lot. Yeah, uses it quite a lot. So that in the title in itself, 616 in LA, was a diss towards Drake. And he used for the art cover, Kendrick used like a glove, a WMG, not
Yeah.
a WMG, a Maybach,
Maybach.
yeah, Maybach glove, which apparently belonged to Drake's father or something. Yeah, so oh, and use a sample from, um, is it Al Green? Yeah, I think it's Al Green. A sample that from a song, yeah, from Al Green. And the interesting thing about that particular sample is that Drake's uncle apparently plays the guitar on the original song. So
Oh, really? Didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah, because Drake comes, or at least Drake's dad's side is very musical. I think Drake's dad also was in music as well.
Was music,
So
yeah.
yeah, so Drake's uncle was a session musician, and he played the guitar on that particular song. Now that song, I don't think it was cleared for the sample, which is why you can't find it
Yeah. On
on
DSPs.
Kendrick's DSPs.
Yeah.
Even on his YouTube channel, it's not on there, but it's being used by. You can find it on YouTube and YouTube Music because other people uploaded it on there. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it hasn't been cleared. I don't think it's been cleared for the sample. And then, which song came afterwards? I
From
think it was
Kendrick or
Family.
from Drake?
Yeah, I mean, after 616 in LA, it was Family Matters that was released, right?
Was it Family Matters or Meet the Grams first?
It was Family Matters. Yeah, it was Family Matters. I think it was a week after 616. And then 15 minutes later, Kendrick released Meet the Grahams.
Meet the Grams. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So Drake was very sure that Family Matters would be the song that ends this whole thing. And the reason I say that is because Drake was very active on social media, talking about. I think at some point he put up a picture of Kill Bill, where at this scene where he was fighting all these yakuza guys, which was also a way to say that, okay, so in the midst of this whole battle, right, Rick Ross released a diss track towards Drake. Uh, I think is it called BBL Drizzy or something? Yeah,
Something along those lines.
yeah. So no, it's not BBL Drizzy.
No, it's not. It's not BBL. That's somebody else. Hey,
Yeah,
guys, there's
that's
a lot
Metro
happening.
Boomin.
That's Metro. Yes.
Yeah, that's Metro Boomin.
Because I know there were a lot of renditions of that as well,
Yeah.
like trains and stuff. There was Metro.
Yeah, so
What was Rosé's one actually?
champagne moments. Yeah, Rick Ross was
I
champagne
think
moments.
he's the one who was also mentioning Drizzy getting a BBL. So I think that's why we also referenced that.
Yeah,
Because he was speaking about how Drake is into cosmetic surgery and whatnot.
Yeah, Rick Ross is actually the one that kicked off the whole BBL Drizzy thing. So yeah, it was okay. Future and Metro Boomin also released a second album, follow-up album of We Don't Like You. They called it We Still Don't Like You. And on
Yeah.
there's ASAP Rocky, there is The Weeknd. Who else is on there? I forget. But ASAP Rocky and The Weeknd also have their own diss verses towards Drake, and basically most of the music industry or hip hop community, international hip hop community, was against Drake at this point. right
Yeah.
in the middle of this battle, which is why Drake was talking about what 1 versus 20 and things like that, because he's up against
Yeah.
everyone basically
A
at
lot.
this
Yeah.
point. Yeah. So on Family Matters, Drake actually, the reason why I say Drake thought that this is the song that ends everything, this is the ultimate diss track, is because he actually shot a music video. Apparently started
Okay.
all the way in LA, ending up in Canada or Toronto, wherever that is, in Canada. So he has this minivan. The minivan is the one that you see on Good Kid, Mad
The
City.
good kid. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but apparently it's not even the right model, because the thing is two different models, two different makes, but they kind of look the same. It's the same body, but it's not exactly the same car, and that's what people have pointed out. So that is one of the many mistakes that Drake made during this whole battle. So yeah, so Drake is did this entire video where he has all this jewelry. Apparently there's a ring that he has on his around his neck on a chain. Apparently, I don't know if that ring was to say that it is Whitney's ring, who is Kendrick's fiance, or if it's the ring that belonged to Pharrell. So it's just a lot that is happening in that video. So in essence, Drake spent a lot of time and money in creating just family matters, because he thought that this is the one, this is the song that ends the whole thing. And then 15 minutes after dropping Family Matters, Kendrick comes with Meet the Grahams, and Meet the Grahams is scathing, like it's just going in on Drake, because the first verse is directed at Adonis being Drake's son. The second verse is addressed at his parents, as actually, because everyone knows Drake's mom as Sandy, which is sort of like a nickname or short for Sandra, as well as Drake's father. I forget what his name is. And then the third verse is apparently about Drake hiding another child, which is an 11-year-old girl. And then the final verse is addressed directly at Drake. Now, when you listen to the song, you can just hear the tempo in which it runs, and the beat itself. It's almost like Kendrick just took everyone and set them down and said, "This is what I need to tell you guys about who Drake is." Pretty much took the whole family in, set them in a room, because it's very chilled and it sounds very, very calculated. But yeah, that was Meet the Grahams. And then afterwards, the following week, I think, yeah, it was following week where Kendrick dropped the last one on his end, the fourth and final one, which is Not Like Us. Now, Not Like Us is pretty much now a diss anthem.
I'm not big on it. I'm not big on it. I really feel like the hype it's getting is unnecessary. I think it's more of a who person than it is about the song, but that's just me.
Yeah, like the thing about Not Like Us
I,
is
nah.
like as a diss track, lyrically, I don't think it is all the way up there. It's not the best within lyrically. It's not the best within
The others were
the
more
whole thing.
fire than this. The others were more fire. I
Yeah,
think this one is just a thing of, you know what, guys, we want to close it off as the fans, so we'll just choose this one and say it's the best one. And now you're going to make it an anthem. But for me, being a person who's a huge fan of lyricism, guys, I'm sorry. Not Like Us is not, it doesn't bang like that for me. Yes, people want to make it an anthem. Now they want to make it an
yeah,
entrance to their
yeah.
reception when they're getting married, when they're graduating. But I'm just like, nah, we're lying now.
Yeah, because the thing about Not Like Us is that it is because it's high tempo. Like the beat is very very catchy.
Yes. Yes.
It's a club banger basically, and
Basically.
yeah, it's a club banger. Now the thing about Not Like Us, or rather diss tracks in general, this is what I have to say about them: is that either it's a case of form or function. Now, when you talk about form, we're talking about a song like Not Like Us, where it is not as scathing, it does not hit as hard as a diss track would, but it sounds very good. So it's either you have a diss track that sounds good, or we have a diss track that is very hard lyrically,
It's
where
a
it hurts. Yeah, where it hurts. So in terms of form, that is what Not Like Us is. Like it just takes a very good form. It sounds very good, but in terms of function,
yeah.
um, I would say I like 616 in LA,
Yeah.
but Euphoria also.
Those two. Same.
Yeah, those two.
The first two for me, honestly.
Yeah,
For me the first two are it.
yeah, that those are functional diss tracks. So, but yeah, anyway, after Not Like Us came out, Drake dropped
The
the
heart.
Hot Part 6. Now, the Hot Part 6 also, the title in itself is a diss towards Kendrick, because because before Kendrick drops an album, he drops a song called The Heart.
The
He has
heart.
the Heart
Heart
series,
something.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next, before we get the next Kendrick album, we are supposed to get the Heart Part 6. But now Drake has pretty much taken that title. It'll be interesting to see what Kendrick does around that. And it's sort of like a chess move in a sense. As far as stealing
Yeah.
somebody else's song title, Drake, in my opinion, gets that one with the Hard Part 6. But yeah, so yeah, that is pretty much the timeline of all the diss tracks that we've gotten from first person shooter all the way to the Hard Part 6. Now it's a lot. It's something. It's very hard to explain
It's a
what
lot.
is going on. Yeah, like it's very hard
It
to
is.
explain. It's something that you have had to actively been involved in conversation. Something that you have had to see for yourself happening, because Euphoria. Going back to Euphoria just came out of nowhere. Drake this entire time has been dropping like on Fridays, I think, but Kendrick has been dropping randomly, and he's been dropping like whenever he wanted to drop. Like Euphoria came on a Tuesday, which is very strange. It's a very strange day to drop a song, but it just put everything
I like
on
that.
hold. Yeah. We actually talk about this quite a lot. That in this day and age, you don't have to wait to drop on a Friday. Just drop whenever you want to drop.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's very hard to explain like
Whenever
this
you
whole
have the
thing.
work to put it out, even if it's a diss track.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a whole Drake and Kendrick battle. But I want to ask you, Z, who do you think had the better strategy between the 2?
If we look at the fact that Drake apparently fed information to Kendrick, which I high key believe, with looking at how Meet the Grahams came quickly, how it dropped so quick after Family Matters, right? For me, looking at the strategy, I'd say the most hated guy in the rap game. Looking at if he really fed him the information, which I believe that he did, right? And with regards to the lyricism and the songs, I feel like I'm in between, because as I said earlier, Euphoria and 616 for me, Kendrick the best ones, right? When it comes to Drake, guys, Family Matters is my, out of this entire beef, for me that's my jam, right? Then also with regards to
Yeah.
ooh, also the heart. I enjoy the heart simply because of what we've mentioned. So I feel like I'm in between with all of them, right? But it's
Mm.
basically two each when it comes to the songs. I'm not a fan of Meet the Grahams because I really feel like, honestly, everything he was saying there, I really feel like it's what he was told to say. They really pushed him on that. I think that's why he had to drop Not Like Us to make us forget about Meet the Grahams. I could be wrong, but you know, for me personally. So yeah, man, I think
Yeah.
the strategy I'd say Drake, looking at the fact, keeping in mind the fact that they fed him information, and also knowing how much Drake likes to trend again, Drake. And lyricism wise, I'm on the fence with regards to. Okay, Kendrick is more of a lyricist for me, right? Is more of a lyricist, but I'm a
Yeah.
fan of both of them, and I'm on the fence with regards to the number of songs I like from each when it comes to this entire um battle or beef. They really, for me, they honestly add
Yeah.
a two each, and I'm looking at it as a friend to
Yeah.
both. I'm one thing about me. I'm not going to be biased. I'm sorry. Like I've been engaging with a
Yeah.
lot of people who are Drake fans, who are
Very
Kendrick fans, and
biased.
from the
Yeah.
arguments, I'm just like, nah, dog, you're lying. But it's fine. I'll give you that because
Yeah.
clearly, But I'm not about to do that. Not when I'm a fan to both. I'm not going to be biased.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like Kendrick is the one who had the better strategy, I guess. Especially when you consider, okay, so as far as the strategies are concerned, we are starting to look at from push-ups all the way to the hard part six. So we disregard like that and first-person shooter because those technically not part of the battle. But considering that Kendrick dropped Euphoria like on a Tuesday, you look at the art cover. Do I have the art cover here? Let me check. Uh, you look at the art cover that Kendrick used uh, for Euphoria. So part of it, remember Euphoria, Drake, Drake, yeah, Drake is part of the is one of the producers in Euphoria, the TV show. So naming it that is also a part of it.
Yeah.
Also talking about yeah, apparently because I haven't seen Euphoria, but apparently there's instances of uh, child pornography or something like that on there. Yeah, so linking that to Drake being a
Drake.
pedophile
Yeah.
in some or accusing him of being a pedophile, that is one
Yeah.
thing. And then also because I'm trying to find the Euphoria art cover because it says something about a Tuesday on there. Um, Yeah, but anyway, it says something about a Tuesday on that on that art cover, and then okay, I think I found it. Let's just see. Uh, oh yeah, oh it says okay. The second part says they had almost a week to recover from the euphoria of Tuesday's series winning victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically has euphoria, which is a noun, and then has the explanation and almost like a
Yeah.
dictionary example.
Meaning.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so because remember that when Taylor made freestyle and what was the first push-ups came out, there was almost like victory laps going on, talking about Kendrick still not responding and things like that. And then he
Yeah.
comes on a Tuesday, drops Euphoria, and then on Friday he drops 616 in LA. So going back to back, just like Drake did with Meek Mill, even with this one, he went back to back with push-ups
Yeah.
and tailor-made freestyle. So it was sort of like a response to that. And then you look at Meet the Grahams being released very, very quickly after Family Matters, which also says how Kendrick mentioned that Drake has moles within his camp, where there's people telling him things about what is happening. Now, as far as
See, that's
feeding him,
questionable, though. That's questionable. It can't be a mole if it was planted, also. You know.
yeah, I mean, in a sense, because you think about it this way, if like okay, the hot pot six, okay, in Family Matters, he made this entire video or Family Matters, uh, and there's no part of it where he shows any proof or hinting at anything where he shows that actually this is what we gave to Kendrick. This whole daughter thing, it comes from us, and this is how we did it. And there's no evidence of that. Even in the Hot Pot Six, the Hot Pot Six, it's sort of like a defensive track in a sense, where he's pretty, and even his tone on there, it's almost like he's just ending this thing. Like, I just want this thing to stop now. I don't really have anything more to, or at least I don't have much more to give. Unless he did that, we're hoping for Kendrick to respond, which is now something that we won't get. So yeah, like in terms of like strategy, in my opinion, with how Kendrick responded to Drake, even on Not Like Us, he responded. He responded directly to the line in Family Matters where he talks about rapping like he's seeing some, like he's trying to free slaves. And you listen to the beat of Not Like Us, it has that sort of melody that they used for the Negro spiritual songs, and it gives quite a lot. And it was Atlanta based, in a sense, which was considered a mecca of slavery. So being able to respond directly to a song that came out a couple of days ago, and also dropping as frequently, and dropping. I mean, you look at Meet the Grahams. Drake released Family Matters, and then Kendrick, 15 minutes after that, drops Meet the Grahams, which is also family themed or family based. I think that says quite a lot about what is happening in this battle.
So, when you check back to what you said earlier about Drake thinking that he's going to end it with Family Matters, right?
Yeah.
It's questionable also because how, if I give you something, I know you're going to run with it. I'm not trying to end this, you know. And when you listen to then Meet the Grants, I feel like everything was just a matter of, okay, now that you dropped, now let me tell you what they told me, which is, I feel like it defeats the whole purpose. That's why I'm not a huge fan of Meet the Grants, because I'm just like, to me, it literally just sounds a whole lot of, like a whole lot of gossip that was fed to him. So it's kind of like it loses, it
But
loses what it's supposed to give. And also, you listen to everything else. Funny how he chooses to address it, but doesn't address the abuse allegations. I'm just like, okay,
yeah,
okay,
like, and that's the thing about this whole thing. Like, there are things that they will obviously not address. Like Drake, obviously, in the Hot Pot Six, he talks about how he would not do this because he's too famous for it. And if he
yeah, being
actually
a
did it,
pedo,
then
yeah, he'd be stupid.
he'd be in prison. But then you look
Yeah,
at Diddy. You look at someone like Diddy. You look at people who went to John Epstein's island. You look
R.
at
Kelly
You look at R. Kelly. Like, being famous doesn't really stop you
doesn't mean
from
shit. Yeah,
it doesn't stop you from doing any vile things that you'd want to do. But there's also evidence of Drake okay, like there's no evidence of proper age except for that one video where he had that girl on the 17-year-old girl on stage, which was I think when was that? I think like 2018 or something like that,
Yeah,
before or even before that. But we know for a fact that Drake uses Instagram to find girls.
he does.
Yeah, I mean, like even I don't know if he actually got to meet like Uncle Waffles in person.
How
But
did I know you were
remember,
gonna go there? I just knew you were gonna go there.
but you think about the fact that he even released like a house album, sort of, after DMing Uncle Waffles. So I wouldn't say that that is connected, because the sound is also different as well from what Uncle
Yeah,
Waffles does.
does.
But yeah, but when you look at Drake's track record, it does not look very good. Doesn't look very good at all. I wouldn't be
But
surprised
also
if
it's 50-50 because it's a thing of his track record, as you said. I think it was only that one girl that he called on stage, and we don't
yeah.
like. Did he know her age before he called her up on stage, or was it a thing of she's already there and they found out after?
Yeah, I think I don't know the prop unless they actually planned the whole thing to say, "Which
Yes,
this is the girl that we're going to have." If they said, "Dude, this is the girl that we're going to have," even
then
before the
she,
whole thing,
yes,
yeah, then he knew how old she is. But if it was just a random girl, then obviously he only found out on stage. But
yeah. But also now, if you look at all the other girls that we're speaking about, yes, I don't know much about his life and all of that, but if you're looking at him DMing girls, nothing like what about that says he's pedo?
yeah,
You
like
know, if they're
yeah,
all of legal age, it's also a thing of he just likes girls and he doesn't have game in person. He's just gonna
yeah,
use his money to fly them out.
yeah,
Now,
like
what evidence does that then give to him being a pedophile?
yeah, like I wanted to get to that to say that he might not be a pedophile exactly, but it's a case of your reputation. Even if you might not have done something, but if you did something very close to it, if your reputation says which you're capable of doing something, then it puts your entire character into question. And what I mean by that is to say that he might not be a pedophile, he might not be interested in underage girls, but we know the type of girls that he likes. We know he's always on Instagram, trying to DMing girls, trying to get them to come to his house, and it's somewhat young girls. Probably it does some vetting to find out how old the person is exactly.
Yeah.
If they are over, or if they are of age, over 18 or whatever. But the fact that he does certain things, it does not necessarily mean that he's done that one thing. But if you actually bring, like Kendrick throwing this one thing in there, it kind of looks like he is capable of doing that. Whether he has actually done it before, we don't know exactly. It's just accusations at this point. I don't know if that makes sense.
And I was
Yep.
saying that Kendrick is not capable because we haven't seen him maybe acting out on a woman in public before.
It's like, um, okay, with Kendrick, we
Because those are the
obviously
biggest
also,
abusers, by the way, the ones who are never doing anything in public.
yeah, like if, even I mean we know that abusers, a lot of the time they are people in public. They have very good images. They have this clean image that they have in public, but behind closed doors, they do some very weird stuff. They do some very horrible things. So even as far as the abuse claims are concerned, we cannot say for sure. Gucci, he has never hit his fiance ever, and there's also the rumors that they've broken up, which we do not know whether are true or not, because apparently they sold the house that they had in LA, and Kendrick recently bought that apartment in New York. So we don't know if Whitney is still in LA with the kids, and if Kendrick is living by himself. And we do not, if they did actually break up, we do not know what the cause of that
Yeah.
breakup is. But yeah, we we do not know anything for
It's
sure.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. We do not know anything for sure. But what we can hope is that on both ends, whatever has been said is not true. We hope that Drake
Yeah.
is not a pedophile, and we hope that
Yeah.
Kendrick is not abusive either. And that and those things being thrown in there is also part of what diss tracks are about. Like
I was
things
about to
that
go there.
do not necessarily have to be true,
Yeah.
yeah, they don't have to be
They will
strictly
come for
true,
everything. They will come for
but they have to
everything.
sound, yeah, they have to sound, but they have to sound like they could be true. If something is said,
Yeah.
shouldn't be thrown out immediately. We have to ask questions. Which in did this really
Could
happen?
it? Could it not?
Yeah, it has to sound or look like it could be true. But yeah, that's the nature of diss tracks.
It's been fun, guys. It's been fun, and I'm glad we're at this point now. We had fun. We enjoyed it. They gave us music again. It was entertaining.
Yeah,
But I don't know if he might, because not necessarily people forget easily, but you know how people are against Drake right now? It
yeah,
might wear off. People are a different breed. It might wear off. You know how it's just like social media.
yeah. And
2 years from now, they might be like, Drake is our fave again. Because I'm talking about Drake, guys. Makes good music. Let us not take that away from him. You know?
yeah,
And he knows how to make music. So he might drop an album in a year from now and people have forgotten all about this. Or even if they remember it, they still go back and enjoy his music and stand. And I feel like almost every supporter in this entire beef situation does literally like both of them. It might not be a 50-50 thing. It might not be a 90-10 thing. But a lot of us are literally 60-40, you know,
yeah,
to both of them. And to just one leaning to Kendrick or one leaning to Drake. But I feel like a lot of us are a fan to both of them.
yeah,
When they drop, we definitely gonna stream that music and enjoy it as the fans that we are.
yeah. On my end, as long as Drake doesn't drop anything where he sings a lot, I like Drake that raps. I like
Yeah,
rapping
same.
Drake.
Same. Same.
But yeah. Anyway, because where I wanted to go next is like you have mentioned, is Drake's reputation, because he's been a bit quiet recently,
Yeah.
and it's the same with J. Cole's reputation as well, as far as lyrical content is concerned. Now we know that with J. Cole pulling out of this whole battle just days after dropping 7 Minute Drill, which was a diss towards Kendrick, it will put us into question his lyrical content about talking about being the best rapper alive,
Yeah.
or being the best rapper dead or alive or anything like that. He's definitely out of the big three, or considered to
Yeah.
be a part of the big three. He's definitely out of that now, as far as conversations are concerned. It's the same now with Drake, because I wanted to ask you about Drake's reputation at this point, because pretty much half of the industry does not like him anymore, and
Yeah.
Kendrick highlighted Drake's, or rather, he focused on Drake's sense of belonging. Now we know, or it's been coming out, that Drake actually is someone who uses people for his own benefit,
Yes. Yeah.
and the whole talk about liking young women, or being liking very young girls, being brought to light. How are people going to receive Drake's music going forward? Do you really think that? I mean, the internet doesn't forget. The internet doesn't forget. How do you think his new music is going to be received?
As much as the internet doesn't forget, also the internet is full of very hypocritical people.
Yeah,
Personally, I feel like the the circles that he runs in, those might be affected because people are feeling used. But I feel like when it comes to the numbers from the supporters, maybe it's just me. I doubt that's going to change. I highly doubt it. Because as I said, as much as people, the internet doesn't forget, the internet is also very
yeah,
hypocritical, and they say one thing and go do the exact opposite. They might say
yeah.
you're not streaming Drake's music anymore, but the minute he drops at midnight, they are the first
Yeah,
people to stream his music.
yeah. But how do you think it's going to
So I
affect?
feel like as a person, he might not be liked, but
Yeah,
his music, I feel like it's still going to be, I think, it's still going to be liked rather.
but do you think this is going to affect um, his mental state or his approach to music mentally?
I'm going to be very selfish about this one, right? Forgive me. This actually, if it affects him mentally, it might give us the Drake from Take Care.
You think so?
Because he literally might come back and be like, you know what, I'm rapping now. I'm making music.
Yeah,
And as a fan, that's literally what I want to hear. Sometimes I'm a bit selfish right now, because if it puts him in a bad place, there's a good, there's a bad. He might be like, you know what, screw this, and he just goes into his corner, and is not the same anymore,
yeah,
right? And he has to again start trying to fit in, question where he belongs, and, but also it could charge him up, and be like, okay, let me show you what I'm made of.
yeah. Because the thing,
But also he's not that hungry anymore, so it's a two-edged street at this point.
yeah, because the reason I asked that ne, is because there is more to this thing than what we know or what we are able to see.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
we are the fans, and we are seeing what other fans are saying or what other people online are saying, and there's things that we are also saying ourselves. But
Yeah.
then there's also the case where Drake is a person who
Yes.
has his own life to live. And there's people in his life who are affected by all these things, everything that has happened during this battle.
Yeah.
I ask this because there's Lil Wayne, who has been his mentor. We don't know what that relationship is like anymore. Because I saw a
Yeah.
video the other day of Not Like Us being played at a Lil Wayne concert. So someone who is as close to Drake as that, um, how is that going to affect, or rather, where are they towards Drake, and how is that going to affect Drake going forward? Um, we talk about UMG. So Drake has this deal
Yeah.
with Universal Music, and Universal Music paid him, I think, $400 million. So having gotten into that deal or having that contract with Drake, how is UMG going to be towards Drake going forward? Because that is a lot of money, and
Yeah.
pulling out of that deal might be costly either for UMG, probably for UMG, because it might be hard for them to get out of it. So it's not easy
Yeah.
with all of this that is going on unless they actually still have his back fully. And but either way, that is going to affect. I believe it's going to affect him mentally, as
It
far
will. It will.
as making this thing or making music is concerned. Before we actually get to the end, I want us to talk quickly about Back to the City. Now, Back to the City 2024 is happening. They already released the date, which is the 12th of October, which is a bit different from what they did the last two years. Last year and in 2022, they did it on the first Saturday of the month of October. So this year they're doing it on the second Saturday of October, which is I don't know why they decided to change it, but yeah, maybe it's because this year will be the same as last year, because last year it happened on the 5th, if I'm not mistaken.
5th or
5th of
7th,
October.
around there.
Yeah, so this year Saturday will be the 5th of October. Maybe that's the reason. I don't know. But yeah, they chose to do it on the 12th of October.
At this rate, they'll be doing it in December.
Yeah.
Next year they will say end of October, then they say
Yeah.
mid-November.
Yeah.
By the time we wake up, it's December.
But yeah, yeah. But I hope for all our sakes they don't do it in December. That will be just too hectic for everyone.
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
Yeah. But who are you expecting to see this year? Or rather, who do you think would be on the lineup?
Besides the usual suspects, if we look at things, okay, I think I'd like to raise the new guys because I feel like your Enves, your Zagwes, maybe it's just me, but I feel like they will be there, especially if they decide to drop anything now. If it's singles or albums,
Yeah.
there's a high chance they're going to be there, and they're going to also have a lot of the new guys because we do have. Actually, now you're talking about, has Blackie ever been on the lineup? Or did I miss it?
Yeah, wasn't he there 2022?
I think he was. It's just last year where he wasn't.
Yeah, last year he wasn't. But then Blackie's in the US quite a lot this year, so
That's where I'm going also. That's where I'm going. But that would be a good thing for them as well.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Because
That would be a good thing for them.
and I know why that might be a good thing because it might be a good way to get the likes of Bass to come through.
Exactly. One thing about Best will never say no to coming to South Africa.
Yeah.
Wake him up right now and say, let's go to SA. He's like, let's go.
Yeah.
One thing about, in his head, this is home.
Yeah.
In his head, this is home, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that would be a good, because he's rolling around Best and them a lot. So it might be a good thing. I don't want to be controversial, right? But also it shows my age. And also shows it back to the city and how much of hip hop they are or they represent.
Yeah.
They might not bring the oilers, right? Might because they are trending and the kids love them.
Yeah.
Might not because to them they are not, I don't want to say they're not rappers, but they're not hardcore rappers. They're not boom bam rap. They're not boom bam rap. And when you look back to the city from its inception to the past couple of years, they're very big on lyricism or how good you are lyrically, how much you rap, you know. So I think that's what I'm saying. It's a 50-50 chance. They might to please the masses, like the young kids, but also they might not. But if you look at the crowd at Back to the City, you remember last year, I think who was performing? Was it Mob?
Mob Deep.
I think it was Mob Deep, yes.
Yeah.
When they were on stage, right? People's age were coming through. You could see it. These people are old, guys. I'm 40-year-old now, you know.
But no, but I get
now
what
when
you're
you
saying.
think about it, I'm just like 40-year-olds and the Quellas, it doesn't come together.
Yeah, I know.
Look at Back to the City, they usually cater mostly for old school heads.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. Because even in 2022, when I forget him, but Mari, what's his first name?
Who's this?
Mari. Yeah,
Keith Murray.
Keith Murray, yeah. I forgot. I don't know why I forgot his first name. But when Keith Murray was there, people were rapping to his music, word for word. And the thing is,
and you wouldn't expect it in this country, number one.
Yeah, you wouldn't. And the reason why you wouldn't expect it is because with all the people that were right in front of the stage, people who are pushing each other to be like at the front, they're not even 40-year-olds. Those are your 20, like late teens, 20 people in their 20s. and they're listening to Keith Murray. That is the crowd at Back to the City. These are people who love hip hop that much, because
Exactly.
even with A. Reese on stage, people were rapping
Exactly.
along with him. When
And
McLaren
Reese
was on
is a
stage,
rapper.
yeah, when McLaren was on stage, people were rapping along to him. When Mobb Deep was on stage, people were rapping along to them. The very
So
same people.
the trend is rap.
Yeah, the trend is rap. But I do think, because when the Koelas are in Bram, what happens?
That's where I'm going. Is it they might have them for that?
Yeah,
Because if they're on the poster, automatically the kids are going. They gain
yeah.
the numbers they want. But then do they give off back to the city?
I mean, they're on Java's Isbugo Dilat.
Typhoon is it typhoon?
He, I think so.
I don't want to sound like a hater, right? I don't want to sound like a hater. Guys,
Yeah,
forgive me. But
yeah. No,
I said this and I'm gonna say it again. I feel like I'm too old for the Quellas, guys.
yeah,
Maybe if they just kept that to the music and not how they talk. But I'm sorry, like, what conversation are we having when you come to me like, what is that? Forgive me, but I'm just like, wow.
yeah, yeah.
And they
No,
understand, the kids understand them. I'm just like,
Dan.
Kanjani, guys.
Yeah,
When I saw
yeah.
that
No,
feature, I was like, okay. And then I listened to it. It's going to take a while, Manelisi. I'm not going to lie. Out of all the four
yeah,
songs that were added, personally, it's my least favorite. It's going to take a while.
yeah.
The message is nice, but it's off. I feel like with the whole structure of the album, it wasn't supposed to be there. Maybe on
Yeah,
his next album,
yeah,
but it doesn't. Maybe it's just it doesn't work with that album. I'm sorry.
yeah. I know what you mean, and I think I understand why Java would actually put them on on that album, because he loves those guys,
He
and
does.
and he's backing those guys, supporting those guys fully. So I think this is just his way of saying, here's a platform for you guys. Hopefully, the people who listen will be able to follow you guys and listen to
Yeah.
whatever it is, to whatever it is that you're doing. So I kind of get why they're on there, but I share the same sentiments with you. I'm not really feeling it. I'm not feeling that song. But yeah, uh, it's there. So, but I really think that they might be on. They might get booked for Back to the City this year, but also, I think
Yeah.
who else might be there? I think Usimamane might be there, as well as Tony Dayimane.
I was going there. I think for me, the two people I'd like to see there, Tony Daimani and Usimamane Gam, Usimaman, I would leave.
Yeah,
After that performance, I'm gonna go home. Because what do you mean? Let me tell you, right now, you know how big of a fan I am of South African music entirely, not just hip hop, right?
yeah,
And my favorites currently, Tony Daimani and Usimamane.
yeah. Tony,
They just the wave, yeah, but at this point,
yeah. But between the two, I'm actually feeling Tony Dayimane a lot more.
Tony raps. Yeah, Tony raps. There's a point where he's like, "Lente rap ngayon qala kusekhona amajikisi." Do
Jiggies,
you know
yeah.
amajikisi, man? I'm just like, this nigga.
I was still in primary when we were still eating my chickies, and this guy is
Do you
saying he's been rapping
understand?
since then.
Do you understand?
Yeah,
And he knew you wanted to rap because then there's Koli, I'm like, darling, that's
Dad,
why you take
yeah,
up physics. I'm just like, I like you. No, but for me, honestly, I feel like if I can just see Tony on that stage, I'd be happy because he raps. And
yeah,
also his beat selection is insane. You know I love beats, right?
yeah.
His beat selection is insane. He rides those
Like,
beats like crazy.
and the thing about Tony is that he's got the flow, he's got the beat
Yes.
selection, and
I
he's
know
got the
he
voice
rides.
as well. Like, his voice is
Yes.
distinctive. Where as soon as it gets on a track, you know
It's just like
that this is
Maclara.
done.
You know
Yeah,
that it's him.
yeah. And what I like about him and Usimamane is that they are not riding that whole mumble rap flow that is going on where everyone sounds
Yes.
the same.
The same,
They are
correct.
actually doing rap correctly, where they are finding their own flow, they are finding their own pace, they have their own identity throughout. Throughout,
And funny
it's just,
thing with Usimamane also, like at first, when you first listen to him, he gives off Blackie.
yeah. And it's
He gives off
sometimes,
Blackie a lot.
and sometimes it gives off nasty C.
That's what I was about to go to as well. But also, I think Uyafana and I know some it's a thing of, if I drew inspiration from there, so what? I'll take it. If you guys mention it and I know it's the truth, I'll take it, because I really feel like he did draw inspiration from Usomnyama and Urantuzane Zulu Boy with some
Nasty.
power. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think, and there's nothing bad about it. As long as for me, I think the big thing is just give me good music.
Yeah.
And I listen to his album. I feel like he gives me, he's amazing, man. Like, he's fun, but he's fun in a good way.
Yeah.
In A, I'm still rapping. Cause you listen to Beta Bangs. You listen to Check Bangs. You listen to Ifilimu with Tony, it bangs. Like, there's a lot of bangers, you know.
Yeah. And War with Okay Malum Cool Cat.
I do want to mention that one when it comes to fun, because Umalumi is fun, but also his lyrics sometimes just like, what are we saying here? You know? but Usimamane, it's that thing. It's fun, but also you're like, okay, no, he's rapping, and I hear him.
Yeah. Yeah. And Check went gold, by the way, as well, which is amazing.
Deservingly so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is an amazing thing. But yeah, I think Ginger and Touchline will definitely be there as well, because they dropped within the last year, a couple of months ago.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, so
They did.
definitely going to see them on
And
the
they
stage.
toured a lot, so they're still on people's mouths and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Who else?
Stogie is dropping this Friday, actually.
Yeah, the 24th.
Hey, but also that one is tricky. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's currently in France at the moment.
And he's touring until August.
Yeah, I don't know
So
if
maybe if he comes back in time, he might.
yeah, he might. And interestingly, I think Stogie was at the very first Back to the City. So he's one of the people that has been appearing on the
In there.
Back to the City stage quite a lot. But it also, for me, it begs the question, because last year it was a surprise act, and he, which was part of the Hennessy hour or Hennessy moment. So would he come back this year? Would it be too soon
That's
for him
the
to be a
thing.
regular
That's the
act
thing.
after
Yeah.
being part of such a huge moment at Back to the City last year? I think that might be a factor as well.
It might. That's what I'm saying. With that one, I feel like we'd have to see. We
Yeah.
don't know how they look into it or how they're gonna come to that decision, but I think it's a thing of we'll see as it approaches. Did
Yeah.
they say when they're gonna release the lineup?
No, they didn't.
Usually
But
they leave it until late.
I think maybe around June or July.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll see.
yeah. Because
Who else can I think of?
I don't know about Casper. Because it did Solomon.
Nah.
You don't think so?
Unless they bring him for Izoro and Edith McLaren.
But just one song.
You understand?
Yeah,
'Cause that's a bang of a song. Let's not lie.
yeah,
And I don't think Casper is one who. But also he's on a new different part wavelength. Because I was about to say I don't think he's one who'd want to be brought out on someone else's performance just for one song. But look
Yeah,
at
I mean,
how
Casper's
chill
Casper.
he is right now. But also he's very chill right now. He's just having fun. He might be like, okay, sharp, I'll come through. If McLaren says pull through, so he'll jump on when I'm performing, he might. Because I feel like
Yeah.
right now he's chilled, man. He's just having fun about everything. I think it's no longer giving main character. So I feel like
Yeah.
he might.
Yeah, but I feel like something is happening there. I don't want to get into it, but I think around, but I think there's something happening around there. We recently got married. People have questions about around that marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, let's not get into it.
Yeah, no, let's
But
not.
yeah, but who else? Who else could be there?
Saudi came out last year with Java, right? Because personally, I would like to enjoy a Saudi performance, even if it's 15 minutes. I love Saudi so much.
Yeah. Also, but I think they might actually bring Java as an act.
By himself.
Whether it be by himself, does he have any rap songs where he's on his own? It doesn't.
None. Nah, not that I can think of.
Yeah, he doesn't have any rap songs where he's on his own. So if they do bring someone, if they do bring Java, I think it might be a surprise act where they actually
That would be nice.
where it's actually an entire thing where MT will obviously be there. Big Zulu will
Yeah.
obviously be there. Saudi will also be there because they might
Yeah.
do what they did with
Yes.
Amu and Mr. Salvin last year.
Yeah.
Could be something like that.
That would be nice as well.
Yeah,
That would really be nice.
yeah, would be nice to see.
Also, I think they might have DJ Clen, but also with him, obviously, then he's going to have to bring the boys with.
Yeah, they would have to.
Yeah, like a whole lot of his features from Ginger, Touch, Blake Lays, that entire gang.
Yeah.
Who else?
Well, you know,
I
speaker's
think at
gonna
the
be
top of
there.
my head is that right now. Yeah, I think right now those are the ones I can mention. At the top of my head, it's those ones.
Yeah, it's hard to take a guess with international guests where international guests
Yeah,
are
no, that
concerned.
one is tricky.
Yeah, that one is almost impossible to take a guess. But hopefully, but Nakona, I'm trying to think of someone who's recent that they might want to bring, and then an international act that is recent, because who is there? I mean,
Like the new school boys.
yeah, like who? I mean, they might as well bring Nas at this point. He had a very good,
Wow.
he had a very good 4 years with all those albums.
did.
Yeah, and he resonates at the moment. He resonates, I think, with actually resonates perfectly with the Back to the City crowd.
It does. It does. It really does. That's the vibe. Yes, but like, internationally, it's difficult.
Yeah.
Internationally, it's difficult. Because they always hit us with the people we least expect. So,
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to the whole thing. I'm looking forward to the rollout. Hopefully, I'll
must
be
bring me
able.
the game.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, I'll be able to attend some of the activations that they
Yeah.
have this year, and also some of the programs that they'll be.
Yeah, that would be
they'll
nice,
running.
actually.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
would be really nice.
yeah, and hopefully, actually, I'll be able to come to Joburg around the week of which is the first week of June.
I think it's the first. Literally, that on the first, it's Saturday, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So
the first Saturday. The second weekend is the 8th.
yeah, so hopefully that week after the first, I'll be able to come to Joburg. Now the reason for that, I don't know if you saw this, but Spoken Priestess and DJ Jaws are hosting a hip hop karaoke night, which is going to be happening.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's happening at karaoke. What did
Is it the first weekend? I might not be in the province. Is it the first weekend?
It's not even the weekend. It's going to be on a Thursday.
Okay, which Thursday? The 30th or the 6th?
6th. 6th
I know,
of,
like-
6th of June. So
Whose page is it on? I really want to go there.
it's Spoken Priestess. I think DJ
Let's
Joe's
see.
might have it as well. So it's happening at Karaoke Kong in Melville, and they're selling tickets for 100 rand
Yo. Where's
at
Melville
Cricket.
again? Is it the one by UJ?
Yeah, or wherever your TV used to get
Is
their
it
mail.
safe for a girl like me?
It should be.
Okay. Where
it,
did you put this? Is it on Twitter or Instagram? It's on Instagram.
on
It's probably on
Twitter.
Twitter.
Yeah, on Twitter. But I also retweeted the whole thing today. The post from Spoken Priestess. So I haven't been tweeting quite a lot today. So if you're having trouble finding it, you can check on my page, on my Twitter page. Should be
Thing is,
somewhere.
I haven't been on Twitter much. Eh?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah. So it's happening on the 6th.
Okay.
So hopefully I'll be able to
Because
go to that.
I'm seeing a question from her, like asking which song people would like to rap. Okay, now I found it. This
Yeah.
is cool.
Yeah, because Spoken Priestess actually hosts quite a few karaoke nights. Yeah, I think it's at Karaoke Con quite a lot. So, and they're actually asking, I think the reason why they're asking which songs to add is because the basically asking what people would like to perform on the day. What
They
they'd like
must
to do.
ask me. I know I'm going to rap.
What do you going to rap? I actually wanted to get to that question.
At the top of my head, I have 3 songs.
Yeah,
Sekele by Pro. I'm doing local, as I'm that girl.
yeah.
Sekele by Pro. Hey, give me any verse on Namantombazane remix. Anyone. Give
Nah.
me from Questa to Nadia. I'll give you the verse. And also, I'm going to go back, like way back.
Yeah.
Chance by Tear Gas.
Oh wow.
All 3 verses.
That
Run me my money. Run me my check.
no, I actually get you. I get you and I agree with you. As far as yeah. What would I do? I like Kaifa's song by AKA, so obviously I'd
Really?
want to. Yeah, I love that song.
Okay, I didn't expect that.
No, I really do. I think it's mainly the sample, but also at the same time, it's one of those honest songs by AKA where he's just
Yes. Yes.
being him and saying whatever it is that wants to say. Um, what else I would do? I think I would do "Living the Way I Should" by Pro. That's also one of my favorite songs from him. Um, and I would try a cello by Stogie, which is on his
Okay.
upcoming EP.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that one. I don't know if you've actually heard it
Beautiful.
as yet.
Beautiful. I have.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I
Yeah.
think Fred likes it as well. Fred Packer. I think it's a beautiful one.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I would do one of those 3.
Yeah, but also I'm such a hip hop head. Like I love local hip hop so much. At this rate, give me Bot Zonke as well. We'll go.
Nah.
Give me Victory Lab. Let's go. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Also,
Yeah, but
I'd like to Maglera's verse on Never Ride, the remix.
my problem with McLaren
That
is
is
the
it
same
as
problem that I have with 25K. What's that? What was that, Z?
Now
No,
listen to you. It's the same problem you have with 25K.
yeah, it's the same problem I have with 25K, which I have no idea what they're saying. I just cannot hear a word that they're saying. The 25K is worse because he tends to throw in his pitori in there. So yeah, it's very difficult for me to hear.
I'm
But
not sure.
what's
But
fun,
never right. I know everything. I even know what he's saying, what he means. As a Zulu girl that I am, one thing about me, me and languages, I last with
yeah,
the languages. So, actually, I'd do that verse easily.
yeah,
Needs even.
yeah. I mean, if I was to do a verse on Never Ride, it would definitely be Java's. I'd
Java.
actually need
It's
to,
very
yeah,
short though. It's very
very
short
short.
though.
Yeah, but I mean, is like there's something
Yeah,
about
but
Java
Java
when he raps.
and Anzo, they ate
And
on
so
that
yeah,
song.
yeah, because
They ate
I
on
would
that song.
need someone to do Anzo's verses with me, or Anzo's lines with
I
me.
got you.
Yeah,
I got you. Anzo for me, I know he ate.
yeah. No, it really did. We really did. I mean, like I love Java when he raps. Like the thing
Same.
about the thing about Java when he raps, ne, it's almost like he has this huge he has this book of rhymes that he has that is not able
Yes.
to use because of the direction that is taken with his music, where he sings quite a lot. So whenever he's called for a feature and he has to rap, it's almost like he gets this super excitement. It's almost like
Yes.
he just has all these raps that are pent up. They just come out. They come out perfectly, like every single perfect line that he has come up over the years that he hasn't been able to use. It's almost like they just come together and work perfectly for whatever song
Yeah.
that is doing. So yeah, I think for me, if I was to do a verse on if I was to do a verse on Never Ride, it will definitely be that one.
Be that.
Yeah.
Okay. I know this is gonna be fun. Actually, I didn't even know about it. Like I'm so bad with my social media, guys. It's horrible. I feel like at this point, if I'm on my phone,
Yeah.
I'm literally watching The Rookie. I'm just obsessed with the series right now. So I'm not working. I'm watching The Rookie.
Okay, yeah.
Literally, I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on. I haven't been on TikTok in weeks. And Instagram, I'll answer a DM and disappear again. I'm just so bad with my phone, guys. Even on WhatsApp, you will text me now. I'll reply tomorrow at midday. I
Yeah.
am horrible at this point.
Yeah, also recently, I've been the same, especially on Twitter. There was a time when I would tweet quite a lot, but recently, I'm tweeting less and less. But yeah, I am trying to stay away. Like the thing with me, with social media at this point, I think I've mastered it. I've actually definitely mastered this with 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 Facebook. On Facebook, I don't post anything unless it has to do with work, or it has to do with a podcast. On Instagram, Nakona, most of what I post on Instagram is what you see on Facebook. But every now and then, I probably post like put up one post every couple of
Yeah.
months. But yeah, but Nakona, it's something because it itches. It itches me. Something that I definitely have to put up. But yeah, I'm trying to take the same stance on Twitter. Twitter is very addictive. I'm trying to take the same
And it's
stance.
toxic. I think that's why I just got over Twitter in the past. Remember when I said to you, and when Keenan passed last year, I think it was just.
Yeah.
Then it started when Ricky passed. My Twitter presence it took a dive, like a serious dive. Then I got back, I think towards the end of the year. Then Keenan passed. I was like, hey, yeah, no, this place is, because you know how people start being weird after something happens.
Yeah.
So like this is not a conducive space for me. So
Yeah.
I think even on day it's a matter of, I'm honestly, I want if you see me active on Twitter, just know I'm getting money. I'm just there to do promo and out. Literally,
Yeah.
promo gone. Like if you check my recent tweet, the last tweet you will see from me, I was doing promo and now I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'll come back again, I get promo, but I can't anymore.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm also, because the thing is, on Twitter you'll see something, and it will be like a crazy take on something, whatever it is that they're talking about, and I just have this urge to respond, but then I have to hold myself and say, you know what, never mind.
Yes.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
keep scrolling.
It's
Never
not
mind
worth
this.
it, yeah.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Yeah, so I'm trying to get it out of my system. Like, and surely, I think I will definitely get there eventually.
I wish I'm
Yeah,
leaving Twitter. It's easy.
yeah, yeah. Is it easy?
Yeah, I really feel like it is.
I
I
mean,
really feel like leaving Twitter is the easiest thing to do. As I said, I think for me, I just go back if I have a promo. Otherwise,
yeah,
I'm all good.
yeah. I'm looking forward to getting to where you are. Because you are way ahead of me as far as that is
Ah, guys, Twitter.
concerned. Yeah,
Like even now, I think I just went on now because of that spoken priestess thing that you just told me, and I
yeah.
see that there's a tweet that man who's this LTD sent us regarding back to the city. I just replied to it now because I was just like, I'm not on Twitter.
Yeah,
Right, it's easy shit.
yeah,
'Cause I'm saying, me, if I'm on my phone right now, I'm literally just watching a series. Because if like especially if I'm working, because I can't watch it while I'm working here, so I'll watch it on my phone while I'm
yeah.
working.
All right.
By the time I knock off, it's time to read a book, then go to bed.
Yeah, no, I get you there, and I'm trying very, very hard to get to where you are. But yeah, anyway, before we end, because we've been here for, I think, far
We're
too
on
long.
2 hours now.
Yeah, yeah, we've been here for way too long, longer than we should.
I had to say into part 1 and 2 on this episode, eh?
Yeah,
'Cause I don't think anyone will listen to 2 hours. I think we now must consider part 1 and 2.
yeah. We're just gonna have to cut this one in half. But yeah, before we go, there is I wanted, because I don't know if we should ask you about new releases or artists to look out for. But let's do the new releases because we can't do this at a much later stage. So there's albums that I've been listening to quite recently. Okay, we've touched on Java's Isbugo Deluxe, which came out, I think it was last week Friday, if not the Friday before that.
Or the other one.
Yeah, but last week Friday, Rhapsody released finally
I
released her
haven't
album.
listened to it and I feel
Please Don't
so
Cry.
bad.
Like it's a very, very good album.
I mean,
It's
it's
a
Rhapsody.
Yeah, like it's an incredibly good album, and I was hoping that you would respond to my tweets because I wanted to do like a small Q&A on Twitter, and where I could ask her about the album, but she hasn't responded. She didn't respond. So having gone so long, and I know she has so many
Yeah.
notifications, I doubt she'll respond eventually. But like, she has taken a different stance on this album than what she usually takes, and there's some sexual themes on there, which is quite rare concerning Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Sometimes she'll mention something, but only in passing, and doesn't really dwell. It will be just one line, and then she moves on to, and Nakona dismissing the whole sexual thing, whatever line that is. But with this one, it's a bit heavy. Like, she'll have an entire song just based on that, which is quite strange coming from her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Nakona, the album, when you listen to it, it's sort of like a journey. It's a journey because she has what's her name? Let me just get it here. Oh yeah, she has Felicia Rashad. I don't know if you know her. She's an actress.
Maybe I know her by seeing her.
Yeah, you should check her out. Yeah, you should Google her. So she has Felicia Rashad on there, and they're just having a conversation. So she's on the intro where Rhapsody walks into a salon, and she talks to one of the ladies that works there, and she tells them that she's in the back and she's waiting for her. So she's doing like this sort of oracle type thing, where Felicia Rashad is sort of like an oracle, and because she's much older, so it's sort of like a psychology session in a sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and also having that wisdom of an older person, and who's able to see beyond the physical in a sense. So there's that, and then the album goes into that, where it's an album of self discovery for Rhapsody, where she's touching on, like, that's why there's all the sexual themes a couple of times on there. where she's going through different parts of her life where she's looking into herself, and all those things, and at the end she comes out pretty much sort of like with an answer, but it's also a question where it's not really complete, but the way that it ends with the last track, which is essentially an outro as well, which is "Forget Me Not." It's a 22 track album, by the way.
Oh Lord Jesus.
It's a 22 track album, but it's one of those albums where
11 tracks a day.
yeah, but it's one of those albums where when you listen to it, you get to the end without realizing it, and then it starts over again.
Oh, okay.
But with the way that
Okay.
this one, with the way that she did this one, you'll have that intro where she has Felicia Rashad back on there, where they have this conversation where Rhapsody visits her again, and they're having this conversation, and then it sort of goes back to the beginning, and then goes back to the beginning. Yeah, so it's sort of like a loop type type thing, but it's very very good, and also she has Lil Wayne on there as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but with Lil Wayne, I wonder how he was able to record that, because I don't think he recorded that in studio. The sound quality is very very low.
Really.
So yeah, sort
Your
of like
voice note.
yeah, sort of
Like
like a
Robin Mom.
yeah, sort of like a
Robin Momo's voice note.
yeah, it's sort of like a voice note type thing. But they worked very hard to sort of clean it up, and the way that they cleaned it up, it sounds, it complements the song. So it kind of they made it work where it's not really glaring, but you just need to be able to listen properly. To hear, I would say they were not in the same studio when they recorded this, and wherever Wayne recorded it, the sound quality is not the standard of being in studio or professional. It's not a professional standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the album. That is "Please Don't Cry."
I must check it out.
Yeah, you
Definitely
should.
check it out.
Yeah, I think you'll really really.
I love rap a lot. Rapsody is one of like the nicest people that I've ever listened to.
Yeah, she's one of my favorites.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
Rapsody guys are amazing.
Yeah, she's one of my favorites. I don't
And the
know.
consistency. Oh,
Yeah, like when you listen to her, you know that you listen to Rhapsody.
yes.
Yeah,
Easily.
yeah, you know that you listen to Rhapsody. But I don't know if you listen to "Let Me Cook" by Ko.
I did with McLaren.
Yeah, what did you think of it?
I'm not sure.
That's not good.
I'm not sure.
That's not
I'm
good.
not sure. I don't know, man. It's missing something because I listened to it the day it dropped, right?
Yeah,
In that maybe I was distracted because I think I listened to it when I was at the gym, right? And no, it's easy to get distracted. Then I listened to it again on my way home. I'm just like, I don't know, man. It's missing something hard. I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe because they both one of like two of my favorite rappers and they both rap. I was
Yeah.
expecting something else and I didn't get that. I think it's that for me.
yeah. No, I get what you mean. I feel like
It's not hitting.
yeah, like it's not like with the way that the beat is done. I feel like Maglera comes on a bit too late into the song, because that first verse is KO, and then they have the hook. I can't remember if I don't think KO is in the hook. They have somebody else doing the
So,
hook,
yes.
and I think there's also sort of like a bridge, which is the other person that is on there. And then they
I think
have
that's another thing, man. The arrangement of the song is a bit off also.
yeah, exactly. Like the arrangement of the song is that's the thing about it, because it feels like having Maglera on there, it drags on too long before Maglera goes on. Yeah, it's
I think also another thing is, when, and I hate when artists do this, right? When somebody is hot on the block at that moment and you try so hard to have a feature with them
yeah.
and you end up messing it up. I think
Yeah.
for me it's that.
Yeah, I think
It
that's
could
what
have
happened.
waited.
Yeah,
Yeah, he could have rated.
Yeah.
Because
No.
KO allows himself a banger, right?
Yeah.
All the time. And what more like can you get from getting a person who's currently hot in the streets and who's actually a good rapper, get him on a song. But also one thing that's important is to get an artist on a perfect song for them.
Yeah.
Or if not perfect, a song that they will make perfect.
Yeah.
Or a song that they will add on to in a good way.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard I think that's what I was expecting from this song. There's this song by, is it SB Kid? Is it SB Kid? I don't know how to pronounce it. With Dos and Maglera. Fatela. Fatel. Yes, Fatela. Listen to that song. That song bangs. Like the beat is hard. Dos goes in hard. Maglera goes in hard. I think that's what I expected from the one at KO. From the beat I was expecting. Because with me, I don't know, man. I'm just so... I think Maglera reminds me so much of DMX. Right?
Yeah.
The minute I see a Maglera on the feature, in my head, I'm going to hear hardcore rap of some sort. Like hard hitting. You know?
No,
so when I
get
listen to that, I'm just like, okay, it's not doing that.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. So with this song, I fully agree. I don't think it's done like properly. I don't think it was like properly thought out, or if it was, I don't think they were on the right track.
They were not,
Yeah,
yes.
so the execution is not that great. I mean, with both of them, they're rapping really hard.
They are.
And
They
they're
really
rapping lyrically. That they're great. The flow is great, but it's just like you said. It's the
Something's off, man.
yeah. So something is not right. Like Maglera is getting into the song a bit too late. It just drags before it gets to
And I
Maglera.
thought that was just me. Because at some point, I'm just like, did I miss him? Or what? And when he jumped on, it felt like it's a different song.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. But yeah, I don't know if you don't listen to Ghostface Killer, do you?
Not really. Not really.
Nah.
I hear a song, but
Yeah, because he released his album Set the Tone last week. Last week he released Set the Tone, which is the arrangement is very good. But towards the end, like, okay, so for most part of the album, it feels like it was done in the 90s, but at the same time, it feels very modern.
Okay.
Yeah, sort of like done in the 90s, but in a classical way, where it's timeless in a sense. It feels very, very, very modern because it's got Method Man in there, it's got Nas in there. He's got, who else is there?
Damn.
Yeah, so it's a rapper. It's people who love rap. It's for people who love rap because it's got Raekwon and Jim Jones as well. But yeah, it's an incredible album. I think it's Trap the
Maybe I'll
Phone.
try it out. Looking at the features, maybe I'll try it out.
Yeah, because I think it's Trap the Phone that I do not like, which is a trap sound, which is quite strange for Ghostface Killer. It's not for him. But yeah, what he did with this album is that it is pretty much a prelude to his next album, which is Supreme Clientele 2. Supreme Clientele 2. So it's pretty much a lead up to that. So if Supreme Clientele 2 is as good as this one, or rather, if Set the Tone is
It'll be
truly
a banger.
setting the tone for Supreme Clientele 2, then it's going to be like it's going to be an incredible album.
You're in for a treat.
Yeah, definitely, definitely that. So,
No, I'll give him a chance after Rapsody.
Start with Rhapsody first. I know you're going to enjoy that. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So where I wanted to go to next is artists to look out for. But I think let's leave that for later. We've been here for way too long. I think we've
Yeah,
crossed the 2 hour
almost
mark
3 hours.
already. Yeah, we've crossed the 2 hour mark already. So, yeah, that is all for me. I don't know if you have anything else that you want to talk about quickly.
Nah, I'm all good. I think the artists to look out for. We low key kind of mentioned them with regards to them being on the lineup for
Yeah,
Back to the City.
Back to the City.
So
Yeah,
yeah, nah, I think I'm good.
yeah. People should just make their own decision as far as the Quellas are concerned.
What's the qua?
Yeah, yeah. People should just go and listen to them. But we've talked about them before.
Yeah,
Tony
we
Dayimane,
have.
Usimamane, and all these guys, by the way, are from the KZN.
KZN, yeah.
Yeah,
Usimamane
so
gam, Usimamane.
so KZN is
Such a catchy line.
yeah,
Ungafuni ukumamela, you're gonna listen because of that.
yeah, yeah. So KZN is really holding down hip hop at the moment.
They are, they really are. They really
Yeah,
are.
yeah. But yeah, that is all from me. I don't have anything else. But we will be back again next week. Hopefully, because we're supposed to have Earl K next week. Earl K, we'll talk about him when we have him. You get people get to know about him
Yeah.
yeah, when he's here. But that is where what we're going to have next week. But yeah, as we don't have anything else, we'll be back again next week. Until then, have a good one. Cheers.
Bye.